I did a video talking about how none of this is about immigration, and the way that you can prove that this is not about immigration is by the fact that Minnesota has 130,000 undocumented immigrants, which make up a little over 2% of their state's population, while Texas has over 2 million undocumented immigrants, which makes up about 6.5% of their state population. But you aren't seeing ICE surge into the state of Texas like you do the state of Minnesota, a red state versus a blue state. And this person here says, okay, Tommy, how do you explain the state with the most ICE arrests is Texas? I can explain it by reading. The first thing I can tell you is that naturally you're going to have more ICE arrests in Texas than Minnesota because Texas shares a border with Mexico, and all of those Latino countries south of us come through that border. The border that Minnesota shares with another country is with Canada. Nobody in the Trump administration or in the MAGA movement gives a shit about that border. So naturally, you're going to have more ICE arrests in the state of Texas, just by that fact alone. But if you knew how to read anything, you could see the reason why Texas has the most ICE arrests. New ICE arrest data show the power of state and local governments to curtail mass deportations. Local jails and police departments are key to the Trump administration's mass deportation agenda because they facilitate ICE arrests of people who are already in police custody. In the first year of Trump's second term, the administration has intensified the criminalization of asylum seekers and immigrants, pushed immigrant detention to all-time highs, and indiscriminately raided city after city. Despite all of this, the Trump administration remains well behind their mass deportation goals, in large part due to state and local efforts to protect immigration communities and limit cooperation with ICE, Border Patrol, and other federal agencies. With the immigration arrests so far within the Trump administration, nearly 48% of these arrests happen out of local jails or other lockups. You pause to read here, you'll read how states like Texas and Florida and Tennessee are cooperating heavily with Immigration and Customs Border Patrol, whereas states like Illinois, California, and Minnesota are not. States like Florida, Texas, Louisiana, and Georgia have required local law enforcement and to deputize staff to serve ICE, leading to high numbers of arrests, while other states like Illinois, New York, and Oregon have managed to suppress arrests by limiting cooperation and blocking access to sensitive areas of public buildings. Remember, allowing access to local jails has become a key component to this. Throughout 2025, ICE made more and more arrests at local jails and other lockups, reaching an average of 350 per day in late January and then continuing to rise to more than 500 a day on average in August. Arrests in other locations peaked in late May and early June at an average of almost 700 a day, and ICE averaged over 600 a day in September. As one might expect, states that mandate local collaboration with federal law enforcement often have higher levels of ICE arrests, with places like Tennessee, Florida, and Texas among the most extreme examples. To produce the impact of changes to immigration enforcement this year, our analysis compared arrests made between January 20th and May 20th to those made between May 21st and October 15th. We found that Texas has the highest overall ICE arrests in this data, and their ICE arrest rate nearly doubled from the first to second period, from about 58 per 100,000 state residents to about 110 per 100,000. After Texas, Florida and Tennessee have the highest arrest rates out of local jails and other lockups specifically. So you have a combination of an incredibly large population. I mean, many, many, many times the population of Minnesota, undocumented immigrants. You have over 2.2 million undocumented immigrants in Texas, 130,000 in Minnesota. So you have many more targets to begin with. Secondly, you have a massive border with the nation of Mexico. It's where most undocumented immigrants come into the United States of America, along the Texas, New Mexico, Arizona border. And lastly, you have Texas cooperating with ICE and allowing them to go into local jail cells and grab people, and they get the record for it to be the notch for it to be an ICE arrest. Now, I've done your homework. Perhaps you should do some reading on this yourself, and next time you have a question like this, read first, ask questions second.